I have identified that there are five pillars of government administration that we all must have as our foundation: accountability, legitimacy, efficiency and effectiveness, responsibility, and in my mind, most importantly, ethics. I will explain each one as we go through. Accountability. The public depends on the government for quality service. The main goal of public service is to ensure that the public good is achieved in a cost effective manner. Consequently, public administrators are highly accountable. Accountability is also a critical pillar that has the power to make or break governments. It requires ethical decision making, equal representation, legitimacy, efficiency, effectiveness, and responsibility. We cannot impress upon public officers enough that every item, every pencil, every pen, every ink, every chair, every table, every desk, every computer has a cost. And we must be accountable for where these things go. I'll tell you, in a particular time at a ministry I was in, we had different corporations attached to us. And one bought the minister for the minister's office a microwave, a china set, a television, and the other one furnished the minister's office out beautifully. Oh, it was a beautiful office. When administration changed and I was told to pack up, I went into the minister's office. There was nothing there but the bare rug. No one could tell me where the china went, where the microwave went, where the television went, where the desk and the chairs went, where the pictures that I purchased from Nassau Glass went, because I knew the cost. They just disappeared. No one should leave a government office with anything that belongs to the government. If any of you have an opportunity to go into the Prime Minister's office, they have a bunch of curio cabinets in there, gifts from different persons from around the world. They do not belong to the Prime Minister. They belong to the people of the Bahamas. So no one could take them home with them. They must remain as the property of the Bahamas government. So too is everything in a government's office, unless you're given specific permission by the permanent secretary or by the financial secretary that you may purchase and take them with you. Legitimacy. Legitimacy requires that civil servants provide a conducive environment for adequate public involvement. You can't be so busy that when somebody comes into your office, you don't have the time to explain to them what they are concerned about. There must also be opportunities for empirical research and decision making in order to accomplish legitimacy. You cannot go by how you feel. You cannot go by what the guru said this morning on the news. You have to know what you're saying. You have to do the research to make sure the facts you impart are indeed truthful and factual. Efficiency and effectiveness. Efficiency and effectiveness are criteria to measure performance management in government. Unfortunately, many people believe that if they come to work at 9, leave at 5, do nothing all day, that entitles them to be promoted or get whatever benefits. No. The performance criteria is most important because it deters corruptive, unethical behaviors. Too much political control would not enable public administrators to operate efficiently and effectively. I will tell you of an incident of where persons did not understand the criteria of performance that stops corruption in the workplace. There was a particular teacher who wanted to be promoted, but the principal felt that the person was not doing what all they're supposed to do. So what happened? They found another way to augment their salary. On a Sunday morning, the principal came to the school and saw a bunch of cars in the parking lot. She inquired of the security guard, "Are they having a game today?" And the security guard looked at her somewhat in surprise. And she said, "Why are you looking at me like that?" The security officer responded, "They're having church in the art room." Silence. The principal said, "Okay, I'm going in my office. When the pastor is finished, ask him or her to come to me, please." When the pastor was finished and came to the principal's office, the principal was advised by the pastor that they were paying $300 a month for the use of the art room, unbeknownst to the principal. So while that art teacher was not being efficient or effective in their job to ensure their upward mobility through their performance, they augmented their salary through a corrupt system of renting out the government's building without permission. Responsibility. The public holds administrators accountable, and they cannot act on their own accord. In order for civil servants to be responsible, they must also adhere to certain values and principles which make them efficient, legitimate, and representative of social equity. The greatest duty of public administrators is to embrace a broad set of obligations and responsibilities that promote the public's interests, demonstrate character, advance justice, and seek the greatest good. Because without seeking the greatest good for the public, our jobs every day will be in vain. Ethics. Ethics is the principle of kindness, non-malfeasance, autonomy, justice, truth-telling, and most importantly, promise-keeping. Ethical conduct is a prerequisite in public administration, and we cannot afford for it to be an exception. Dealing with the public calls for natural goodness that can identify decisions that are morally correct and avoid those that are incorrect in a given situation. I was at a particular ministry, and on Fridays, lunch came, Easter, the big Easter basket came, Christmas, the big presents came, and I wondered what was going on. So I gave them, on a particular Friday, a questionnaire and asked them, "Let's fill it out for me, please." I said, "I have some work to do, and I need this survey to be completed." And they completed the survey. It was an ethical survey. And after I did the analysis, it was shocking that they did not know to accept gifts of more than $20 was corrupt. That to accept tips was corrupt. That to hold a list of persons to be given a certain service and to move someone from 100 to number 1, or to move someone from 50 to number 2. And when you move them to number 1 and number 2, they told their friends, and their friends came and you moved them to 3 and 4. They saw nothing wrong with that. And when I held a meeting with them to explain what they were doing, you could see the shock upon their faces. Some of them said they were Christians and they did not know that they were stealing. Because I told them accepting tips, but they were being bribed with the gifts, being bribed with the lunch. I was in a particular ministry and I offered a contract to some persons, and they went to my subordinate and said to my subordinate they wish to thank me monetarily. It was a good thing people know who you are. My subordinate said to them, if you attempt to give her any monetary gift, she will cancel the contract. Because people knew the level I operated at. I expect every public officer to operate at that same high standard. You don't need a tip. The public service is no place for you to get wealthy in. If you're looking for wealth, you need to find another job. We are here, like I keep on saying, to give the best job for the common good.